Monday, we're a couple days out from Mania. Big Raw. Some things happen, mostly a lot of promos. But hey, that's expected because it's WrestleMania a couple days beforehand. Expected. Anyway, guys, this is Raw to recap in a nutshell. I'm Andrew. It's DA Wrestling. Damn, let's get at it. All right, on today's show, we're going to talk, obviously, what happened at the end of Raw there, right? Because that's huge, right? We're going to talk to Gunther and Jey Uso promos, because, like I said, promos, right? We're talking AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross, National Treasure area Karrion Kross, that is. We're also going to talk Ray versus Julius Creed. Boy, that boy can go. Also, we're going to talk Penta versus BALOR. And what all happened? Oh, that mess. Bailey versus Liv Morgan. And you know what? A few things might be going through my mind at the time here. So let's just get through this here. Let's get going here. We are a few days away from WrestleMania. Before I get started this thing, though, guys, if you are liking the content here on YouTube, Spotify, or Podbean, wherever you are listening or watching, right, please make sure you like, share, subscribe down below there. In fact, the little thing pop up on this side over here. It says subscribe. We are Canadian content, guys. I am Andrew. We are from Toronto. DA Wrestling. We thank you very much for all your support. And let's get started. All right, so let's go backtrack right now to the end of Raw. Because when you start from the top, it's just, all the fun stuff's usually at the end of Raw. Am I wrong? Comment down below. Not always. But anyway. So, at the end of Raw, all night, we've been watching Paul Heyman waiting for his tribal chief. Constantly looking at his watch. Right before his tribal chief showed up, CM Punk sat down and said, Heyman, look in my eyes. What do you see? Literally opened up Paul for this, I don't know, called a personality. Right? Punk just laughs, smiles. Roman sees this, right, as he drove in, gets out of his car, not happy, walks to the ring. Paul Heyman falls, like Paul Heyman does. And Paul Heyman comes on out the ring out there with Roman Reigns, and Roman's like, acknowledge me. And he's really confused, you see. He's wondering, like, why was I betrayed? Taken as a betrayal. I mean, he's kind of right. It's kind of a betrayal. But he's not really a betrayal, let's be honest. Right? He didn't, Heyman didn't, hit him with a chair like Seth Rollins did back in the day when he was part of the Shield. No. He just is doing a favor for a friend. Right? Which he made a long time ago. Right? Roman still sees it as betrayal, though. Roman asks him why. Paul's literally asking, well, it's just a favor for a friend that I made a long time ago, and so forth. Whereas Roman's response is more or less like, but how do I have to clean this up? How is it affecting me? Why is it affecting me? It shouldn't be affecting me at all. That's a you thing. He's not wrong. Favors are a person thing. He'll point that out, too. Seriously, point it out. Anyway, Rollins comes out, and by the way, has anybody ever noticed over the past number of weeks that they've got rid of the whole freaking part? The way people say freaking now is just all the people. And if you notice also too on the board there, Seth Rollins says, I'm a revolutionary and a visionary. Folks, Seth Rollins is speaking about how Roman is finally waking up a little bit. Right? It took him a long time. And Paul Heyman's doing this because of chance. It's not chance he chose. He didn't choose. He didn't chance this. He chose to do this. He chose to do all these things. Right? Folks, Seth Rollins is turning heel. Seriously. It's going to happen. Probably at Mania. I have a sick feeling I know what's going to happen too. We'll get to it a little bit. Anyway, he pinpointed Paul a lot though, right? And literally, the way Paul Heyman was looking at him the entire time, for the most part, was that Paul Heyman looked Remember when Brock Lesnar would do something when Paul was with Brock and Paul had that little look in his eye, stick the tongue out a little bit. Yeah, same kind of look, folks. Right? Roman in return says, you're right. Seth's right. You made a choice, like I made a choice. And he decks Rollins, throws him out to the ring, right? And Paul's so happy at this point here. He's like, oh, my tribal chief. Punk, he knocks Punk Heyman on the ground. Heyman's like all shocked and appalled by this. Like he didn't see this one coming. CM Punk comes out, starts attacking Roman, gets him out of the ring. He goes, are you okay, Paul? Are you okay? Roman comes up behind him, spears the living daylights out of him, right? And he just starts pounding in on Seth Rollins like boom, 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 laying fists of fury like the gods of Zeus. Gods and Zeus. That's it. And as he's standing there over Punk, they do a little throwback here. Seth walks in with a chair, just lays out Roman with a chair. Then stomps Roman and stomps Punk. And standing there. Very eerie of when Seth Rollins first stabbed the Shield and became Seth Rollins, the guy. Now, Seth also pointed out in his interview, too, in his promo, what's best for business. But he goes back to the time, too, when Seth first did that to Roman Reigns and the former Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. We don't mention that, though. But we're going to anyway, because it's part of the story anyway. You can't mention those. You can't mention the Shield without mentioning Ambrose or John Moxley, whatever you want to call them. Right? It was very, very throwback to when Seth did this. And you look at everything that's changed with Seth, his whole, from the video to the way he's acting a little bit. It is going back to Seth Rollins turning heel. I haven't said my prediction yet, but I have a feeling right now, Seth, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think Seth is going to leave wrestling. Seth was staying tall. Now, normally, at the end, he was standing tall at the end of Raw. Normally, in wrestling logic, that means that person is not winning. But sometimes that logic is flawed. Sometimes that logic means it gets thrown out completely out the window. Now, the question you have to ask here is Seth going to lose? Will he take the pin? I don't know yet. But I think he loses. The question is, though, I think he walks out with I think he's walking out with Paul. And I think he's going to cost Roman, not Punk. I don't know yet. It's simply a guess right now. Predictions coming out on Thursday. We'll be doing the video on Thursday. Probably come out Friday morning. Look out for that. Because right now, that's kind of where my head's at. Could change depending on what goes on. Anyway, moving on. Say a lot today was promo night. There's like a lot of promos today. They did a promo for Io, Bianca, as well as Rhea. Right? All for their match. They're really hyping up that match for night two. And I'll tell you right now, it's like night two is the main one, folks. It's like WrestleMania is like the rest of it. It's like night one is like the tune-up. Because if you look at how they're previewing everything, how they're like showing them running down the cards, night one's everybody's in like a deck of cards, right? Whereas night two, everyone's standing face to face for the most part, different kind of background, everything. It's almost like that's the main show. It's like WrestleMania. It's like night one's like the warm up, and two's the big one. But Gunther comes out and starts the night off, right? He's supposed to have a promo later on in the evening with Michael Cole. He comes on out, right? He's like, come on in here. He's all angry. He just goes off. He goes off on like what he did 2 weeks ago when he beat up Jimmy Uso, aped him blood, right? How he doesn't care. He's going to break. He says it's crap that Jey Uso's not afraid of me. It's crap. He's going to go off. He said he's what he should have done. He said he didn't lose his cool at all. He says I stayed calm. I was calm. I did all that because I wanted to, right? What if I lost my cool? I would have draped myself in your blood as well. He's going to go tell his mom after WrestleMania is over that he loved what he did. And then Jey comes out later on in the evening and says he's going to kick the hell out of Gunther, take the title, right? He's under skin. He's going to beat the crap out of him. He's going to end it, take the title, and call it a day. Yeet all over the place. Now, if you guys had a chance to go take a look or listen to the Ariel Helwani Gunther interview on the Ariel Helwani show, another Canadian, right? I suggest you go do it because he talks a little bit about the build up for the Jey Uso match with him at WrestleMania, and he's right. Over the past number of weeks, right, because it's a 10-week build, that has been very drag and trying to figure out things to go here, right? Over the past 2 weeks, right, maybe even 3 weeks, let's say 3 weeks, right, it's really gotten a lot better. The whole build has gotten more exciting. It's gotten more, even Gunther said, it's gotten more to where he wants it to be, right? And maybe he's happy where it is. This build now is getting more and more exciting, right? Now it's better. It's almost like you shouldn't have had them build that long, right? But that is what it is. That's what they did. Okay. Gunther versus Jey Uso to me is probably gonna be the show that might be the match that opens up WrestleMania 1, night 1, right? Or it's gonna be halfway through, right? Depends on where they want to go. They might want to do Tiffany Stratton and open up with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte. Who knows? We don't know. We'll have to wait till WrestleMania finds out. Almost the way they're positioning it when they run down the card from back to front, it's almost like yes, Jey versus Gunther is gonna open the show. Get the whole crowd piped up and stuff. We'll have to wait and see for that. But the build right now for both guys is much better than it was 7 weeks ago. 7 weeks ago. All right? It's much better than where it was. And now it's getting more to the point where people are getting more and more invested into it now because of what they did the past 2 weeks. It's brilliant. Bloody marvelous. Moving on. AJ Styles versus National Treasure, Karrion Kross. So AJ comes out, and Karrion Kross comes out to his old NXT theme. And they kind of hyped it up, saying he wants to go back to the way he was, where he was like the dominant person he was at NXT. And I couldn't agree with you anymore. He came out wearing pants as well, nothing very different from what he usually wears, the tight shorts. The shorts. Right? Or trunks, we want to call them. He wore pants. It almost mimicked AJ Styles' pants, except differently because it's Karrion Kross. Right? Right? For instance, it said on AJ Styles' pants, it says P1. AJ Styles' official logo, one he owns and designed himself. And the other one for Karrion Kross said, the devil you know. Right? Excellent match back and forth. They really gave Kross a lot of time. Kross really dominated this for a lot of the match, too. Really hitting AJ with a lot of hard shots. At one point, right, AJ threw him out of the ropes. He slammed into the boards, comes back out, trips AJ Styles on the outside ring, and smiles and everything. Scarlett got involved with it. He huffed AJ a couple times into the boards, right, into the barriers. Sorry, I should say boards, barriers, right. Point where he was very proud of himself there. But eventually, AJ ends up getting the upper hand. And what was interesting about all this too is that Karrion Kross lost, which stinks because I would rather have Kross win. But I understand where they're going through the story point of view. But when AJ Styles went to go do the phenomenal form, instead of like where Kross usually people would put their hands up or whatever stuff to block it, Kross put his hands behind his back and took it like a champ. right? You got to wonder where they're going with Cross here. Now, like I said before last week, that Cross's contract is slowly coming to an end. Will they resign? Has he resigned? Right? Are they going to move Cross more into that picture that he was before? Time will tell. Right? And hopefully, it is a good thing too, because Karrion Cross has been phenomenal over the past number of months, especially ever since AOP left and all stuff and got released. AJ Styles ends up winning the match. Logan Paul comes out, and Logan Paul ends up laying out AJ Styles after ripping on a little bit. And Cross ends up giving a little bit of a hand. AJ's winning that match, folks. But all in all, Cross' performance in that is very good. Cross, to me, is somebody that needs to do more and more on TV. He is great. He's fantastic. I've always liked Karrion Cross. The minute he came into WWE from the entrance, the way he was presenting NXT, yes, they fumbled him a little bit, but that was a lot of it too. Was also the guy who thou shalt not be named. All right, but hey, we'll see what happens with Karrion Cross. Karrion, in my opinion, like I said, is phenomenal. Is a fantastic wrestler. Is a lot of things. A hell of a stand-up guy by the looks of it too, right? And I think we should just do more of them. They had a match today between Rey Mysterio and Julius Creed. Now, I know my counterpart Doug has said in the past too that Julius Creed is going to be the standout guy, and I never not disagreed with him. I agreed with him on that point. He is the most highly gifted. He is him along with Gable are probably the two closest guys you can get to Kurt Angle. Okay. Rey Mysterio really sold well for Julius Creed. He really presented Julius Creed as a tough, viable threat in a singles competition match. This was his first real singles match on Raw, I believe it is. Right? At least in a while. Right? And Rey really showed for him. Now, Rey ended up winning the match, obviously, because they were doing the build where El Grande Americano came out and kind of interfered. Right? But didn't really. Rey tried to get his mask off. That's going to happen probably Mania. Right? But they really key point in the match too is when Julius Creed picked him up, picked him up outside, and walked him up the stairs while holding up in a suplex position. Right, the kid's a phenomenally strong guy. He is going to be a breakout guy. If anybody's going to break out of that Creed brothers, it's going to be Julius Creed. Unfortunately, there's always a Marty Jannetty somewhere when it comes to a tag team. Unfortunately, it's Brutus. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with Julius Creed eventually down the line. I don't know what their plans are. They never really give an indication. But by the looks of it, what they did today, they really wanted to showcase him a lot more. And they did. Right? Go back and watch the match. See what Rey does. He's literally making Julius Creed look like $1,000,000. Strong, right? And very difficult to beat. That's the kind of guy they're looking at him as. Take a look. Penta versus Finn Balor today was a hell of a match that they probably could have just let go. It's what they wanted to do, a build more for the four-way match, but they probably didn't have to do. Get all that? Let's go all back. Let's go back all the way back to that. And Penta versus Rey versus Finn Balor was a match they probably didn't need to do, but they decided to do it because they wanted to build more for the four-way match. You didn't have to. Penta and Finn Balor are both great wrestlers. I understand where they were coming from in this one too. The match ended up getting thrown out because Braun Breaker's music comes out too after the guys beat the crap out of each other for long periods of time. Right? Penta have been back and forth. Right? They really talked about how Finn Balor is going to pin Penta last week. Right? Just made Penta cause some of his first pinfall. They talked about all that stuff. Breaker comes out. Right? And he is in a mood. He comes up, but is also followed by Dominic Mysterio. And also, Carlito is there as well. Right? They get in the ring. They try to start to beat up on Breaker. Breaker is a right. They try to throw against Breaker against the ropes. Breaker comes back and spears both guys. He sets up Ray to spear Penta. Penta ends up kicking him in the head. Okay, him knock him out of the ring. Right? Balor at this point was already out of the ring as well because he got kicked out. and Penta stood tall. They mentioned all during the four-way here that Dominic Mysterio could very well pin Finn Balor. He could very well pin Penta. He could pin Brock Breaker. It could be also Finn Balor that does the same thing, or Penta, or vice versa, because it's a four-way. What concerns me though right now, folks, is if you watch the Raw, and I suggest you go back and watch it. Watch the tail end of this match where it's basically over. At the end of there, when Balor is staring at Penta, they show a picture. They show Breaker being attended to medical school. It looks like Breaker might have tweaked his knee. I don't know if anything's bad happening. Hopefully not. But it looked like he might have twisted his knee a bit or tweaked it in some way. Hopefully it doesn't put anything in jeopardy for the fatal four-way. He might just, I mean, it could, if it is, he might just tough it out for four-way, not do anything for the next couple of days, go to the match, and then see how it goes after that. But it's a little concerning because if they want to keep the title on Breaker, right, this is kind of puts a kink in the armor here, folks. Right? But we'll see what happens. Maybe something comes up. We'll keep you posted on it, see what goes on. But right now, it's a little concerning, especially if you're a Braun Breaker fan going into WrestleMania, which is only a few days away. Who knows? Bayley versus Liv Morgan was the first match tonight, right? They just talked about they just had a match. It was a very long match for the most part too. Bayley ended up winning with the help of Lara Valkyria because obviously Raquel gets involved. But they really just posted the fact that this is a tag team match for the tag team titles that's going on WrestleMania, right? After Lara Valkyria and Bayley ran the gauntlet on SmackDown and won. So yeah, it was there to me. It was just there. I'm sure the match at WrestleMania would be a lot better. They did talk about too about the War Raiders match, where they say they're going to war with the New Day, and the New Day says we're going to win. So it's fine. That guys, that was pretty much Raw in a recap in a nutshell. Not much else really happened there. Like I said, lots of promos, really pushing WrestleMania this weekend, really promoting WrestleMania for this weekend coming up here. Obviously, they posted the Hall of Fame stuff as well with Triple H going in Hall of Fame this year too. So lots of things went on, right? Anyway, guys, if you are liking the show, make sure that's it for me though. That's DA Wrestling. I'm Andrew. Make sure you follow us on our socials there. I'm at DA Wrestling or DA Sports on TikTok, DA Wrestling or DA Sports Pod on X. Look for the Canadian flag. It's right beside it. Beside DA Wrestling. AMP 1982. Also D Lions 1991. Make sure you like, share, subscribe on Podbean, YouTube, and Spotify. We thank you very much for all the support. Thanks a lot, guys. WrestleMania's on the way. Predictions videos coming out Thursday or Friday morning. Talk to you then. Look out for NXT probably tomorrow night. Have a good one, guys. Bye.